top. This mother Russia will never die. But in our lives, that memory of us, it starts to shining bright until you're lost up with that power to fight. Crimson God, you can lead us now into the blaze of victory immortal. Crimson God, it's time to leave all that peace behind. We cannot lose, but standing is on our side.
It's us, JosefVStalin, and welcome to my first part of my Let's Play of Hearts of Iron 2 Doomsday Armageddon. And this is one of my most requested games to Let's Play. And I always kind of shied away from Let's Playing it because I actually have a number of friends who I know personally who have done this Let's Play, and I don't really like to do Let's Plays of stuff that, you know, people have already done. But then again, this game is kind of like Napoleon Total War in a sense that you can play as a variety of different countries and factions, and you'll have a widely varying gameplay experience depending on which country you choose. And before I begin, I'd just like to say that everything I know and have learned about this game, I learned from my friend Vadim, who does a fantastic Let's Play of this game as the Soviet Union, and is currently doing a Let's Play of Hearts of Iron 3 as the United States. And in all honesty, like I said, everything I know about this game I've learned from him, and I can't recommend his Let's Plays enough. I'll leave his information for his channel in the description. So, you know, if you're at all interested in checking out some more Hearts of Iron Let's Plays, he is highly, highly recommended. So, without further ado, let's get into Hearts of Iron. And before you start the game, you see there's a variety of different times you can choose to start in. You can, you know, start in anywhere from way before the war, 1936, to after the war, 1945. Which, if you start on Doomsday, it essentially takes place if the Soviet Union and the United States had decided to go to war with each other right after World War II. But I'll be starting off in 1936. Also, there's a bunch of different scenarios where you don't do any production of units. It's all just you practicing your organization and attack and army maneuvering you know, skills. There's a variety of different scenarios, ranging from the real kind of scenarios to the fictitious, like there's the African campaign, Battle of Coral Sea, Barbarossa, and there's some fictitious ones like the invasion of Japan, and a war between Argentina and Brazil that never happened, and an invasion of Czechoslovakia by Germany. But we're not going to be doing any of those, and like I said, I'll be starting off in 1936, and the country I'll be playing as is, in fact, a country that nobody seems to play as, and, you know, I can't see why, because it seems like a really obvious choice to play as this country, but, you know, most people will play as Soviet Union, or Germany, or the United Kingdom, or USA, but I am going to be playing as Japan, the Imperial Empire of Japan, of Nihongo. And one guy actually suggested I play as France, and I thought that guy was kind of an idiot, because nobody likes France. Nobody wants to play as France. Come on, guys. Anyway, I'll be playing this on the normal difficulty. And, I guess without further ado, let's get right into it. Right, so here we are. Here's the campaign map. Here's where, the entirety of the action is going to go on. And, let's pause the game for a second. Turn it to political map mode. Let's just see all the country's borders. It's the map mode I like the best, personally. And here's the map. It's a map of the entire world. And just so you know, every country in the world is playable as this game. You can play as any country. Any country you see in the map you can play as. But then again, I don't know why anyone would want to play as, like, Albania or, you know, Oman. or Ethiopia. LOL. Anyway, I'll be playing as Japan, and here we can see the Japan's empire in 1936. We hold Korea and Manchukuo and a little bit of China, but you know, not much else. Of course, we've got Taiwan and our various Pacific holdings. And so many people might be wondering what exactly Hearts of Iron is. And the way I explain Hearts of Iron to people who ask is it's the ultimate what-if machine. Basically, any what-if question you have about World War II, you can answer using this game. So, let's say you have a question, say, what if, when Germany invaded Poland in 1939, France and England simultaneously invaded Germany as well? You know, would that have ended the World War II right there, and you know, Hitler would have never really risen to power, and France would have never been invaded, and blah blah blah. And if that happens, how do the next years play out? Or you can ask yourself, you can play as Germany and say, you know, what if Germany never invaded the Soviet Union and instead focused their efforts on taking over the United Kingdom? How would things change then? And in all honesty, those kind of questions are pretty tame. You can, you know, have some pretty ridiculous things happen in this game if you want them to. For example, one of the most ridiculous things I ever did is I asked myself, what if, I played as Canada, by the way, I asked myself, what if Prime Minister William Lloyd Mackenzie King, and before I get too far into this, William Lloyd Mackenzie King was easily one of the most eccentric characters to have ever graced the Canadian political landscape, and maybe one of the, you know, political landscapes worldwide. William Lloyd Mackenzie King was our Prime Minister. I can't remember if it was for 21 years or 27 years, but anyway, he's the longest reigning Prime Minister and one of the longest reigning democratically elected leaders of all time. Anyway, this guy was just messed up. Like, he would perform seances and talk to the dead and talk to his dead relatives and dead idols, and he apparently would speak with his dog on a regular basis and loved his dog more than anything, and he would ask his dog what direction he should take the country in and what the country should do. He also bought up all the land around his estate so Jews couldn't move in close to him, and he also went to visit Hitler, and in his diary he wrote something to the effect of, Hitler's soft skin and beautiful eyes maintain the fact that he is a person of peace, and as long as he is ruling over Germany, peace and prosperity will reign throughout the land. Yeah, good call on that one, William Lloyd Mackenzie King. Anyway, I asked myself, what if he became a dictator of Canada and invaded the United States? Turns out it doesn't end very well for Canada. I was able to make it all the way and capture Washington, D.C., but eventually United States manpower and industrial capacity eventually overwhelmed us. So that's what basic premise of Hearts of Iron, and I'm going to be playing as Japan, and I'll tell you guys my long-term strategy, what I'm going to do as Japan, and how I will avoid the historical pitfalls that the Japanese fell into. You know, one of the things, sorry, random side tangent, one of the things that is always, I've noticed a very detrimental fact to playing this game and just studying history in general is we always know how things are going to turn out. We always know the end consequence and how to change that end consequence. That's why I think playing as the Soviet Union is the easiest country to play as in this game, because you know what happens in 1941, Hitler invades and so on and so forth, and if you just stack the entire Soviet army on the border, you know, Germany can't get in, and you already know how exactly to defuse the entire, you know, German threat before it even happens. But anyway, how am I going to avoid the historical pitfalls of Japan? I'm going to avoid them by not fighting on so many fronts as the Japanese did, because historically the Japanese were fighting everywhere. They were fighting in China, at the same time they were fighting the British in Burma and India. They were also fighting, you know, the Dutch and Australians and other allies in the East Indies, at the same time fighting the American fleets and Marines on the islands and in the Pacific Ocean, just way spread out. And as you can see, Japan is a very small island nation, not a lot of people, not a lot of resources, not a lot of industrial capability, and in all honesty, I'm a little bit surprised and respectful of how much the Japanese were able to do with just such a small army and such a small, industrial capability. But they took over and beat the crap out of a huge amount of different armies and a huge amount of land. But anyway, what my plan is, sorry I keep getting sidetracked from telling you guys my long-term plan for this game,